Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender's Thursday, December 11th, 2025. We have a lot to go through today. Not a whole lot has changed on the daily time frame for the SPX, so there's not any indicators to really look at specifically. I'm just going to do two. The only two that changed, and we'll go through that. We'll check out the VIX. The VIX is at a critical point right now. So these are the tea leaves that are forming a story, and I want to talk about what is going around on X and YouTube, where the Treasury purchases, QE or whatever people are calling it, what that's doing, and I want to involve that with the charts. So IWM and DIA are the beneficiaries. XLF is the financial sector. So we're going to quickly, after the VIX, we're going to quickly look through the IBIT, MJ, and then we'll hit the IWM, DIA, and XLF. And I'll show you exactly why I think we're at a critical point. Even though those are flaring up today, people are going to say, well, now we have great breadth, and now the market is going to follow behind it. And of course, there's nothing that's 100%. If tech decides to follow at this point, then the market's going to go higher, okay? If not, if tech is really the indicator of us leading to the downside and all we're doing is waiting for this nonsense, knee-jerk reaction off of this market going higher with the small caps and the Dow, then I think we had lower coming up real soon here. And I'll show you why. Okay, so make sure you stick around. We're doing this intraday about 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a YouTube supporter. It's 99 cents a month. Comes with the cheddar data, trade alerts, tons of traders that are fabulous in there. Thank you very much, you guys, for all your input and support. And we also do these. I showed a video yesterday of kind of like the live cockpit. We did one today again of the game plan of what's happening underneath the hood. On the lower time frames and where I expect the market to go. So that's one level up from there. It's $5 a month. It's $4.99 a month. All right. So this is all just to support the channel. I know it's out to the masses. I'm not asking for hundreds of dollars like some of the servers out there. All right, so let's jump into it. We have a lot to go. So I'm going to zoom through these pretty quickly. This is what we've been looking at. This is the bottom of a channel, rejecting off of it, just kind of climbing up that trend line right there. Do we go up a little bit higher and tag it, maybe even tag a brand new high? I'm not really in that camp, but I do have that scenario available, and we'll have negative divergence on all of this as we go up. So we have it on the lower time frame, but then we'll have it on that higher time frame again if that's the case. Now, we could reverse from this point. We have an inside day so far. And this is all just this consolidation. And as soon as we break out and break down from it, there's going to be a large move coming. This, this is just a bunch of chop for literally 2 trading weeks here. Do we end tomorrow with another inside day or something like that? I think that's a possible situation. We could drop tomorrow, but or break out. But I really think this is setting us up for another weekly doji candle, sort of hangman style or hammer style doji. I might as well show you while we're here. And so if we even make it a slightly bit higher, it'll probably come back and form this doji here. And it doesn't matter if it goes higher or not. You already had that slight high, right? So if we end off just like this, I mean, that's the end of your move, and you're looking at a reversal candle here. I thought this might be a fat like spinning top, but it's clear to me that the weekly wants to do this. Now, if you end up with a big red candle or a big green candle, that's whatever. We have to react off of that. It's all about the close. I'm just trying to anticipate my mind around that before it happens, okay? So tomorrow could be just a real big dud. All right, so here's your moving averages. Nothing's changed. We're holding on to that 8 EMA, and that's the case for the SMH and item is all of them, all the ETFs. But here's where we get into a situation. We have negative divergence here. into overbought territory off of this move. Okay, that's a setup in itself. I think this is going to reverse, and I think that's going to head lower now. We got to that oversold condition. Great. Now, with the RSI, this is very clear. Negative divergence on 3 peaks. Okay, we made that new peak there yesterday. And I checked the numbers. They are negative divergences. I know they're almost sideways there. And then you have this crossing over, but I think we're going to end up with a downtrend. So I do suspect this will cross back over. But if we do go a little bit higher, then we'll probably see this oscillator up back into the overbought with negative divergence, and then heading back down. So I don't think we're going to get this crossover back to the other side just magically by tomorrow. That's another clue that the tailwinds are to the upside and going along with the MACD and with negative divergence. So it's the bulls and bears are fighting. We're in this sort of equilibrium chop zone, and I don't think we're gonna really get out of it until next week, and then it should resolve by then. All right. So that's pretty much it. There's no demark set up, anything like that. The money flow is still negative divergence if you make it up higher from there on SPY and everything like that. So let's go over to the VIX. This is super important. This is what I'm keeping my eye on. Here's your trend line, long-term trend line. It's held. That held a couple times. There are wicks through it, and so don't think just because today now we're getting a little reaction off of it. We made this new low, and so that's going to be a divergent low. We now have positive divergence in the VIX, and again, we need to see this slow stochastic move up, cross up. So that's going to give us a problem today and tomorrow for the VIX. Might be some inside day, or maybe even a spike through down here in a green little doji, hammer doji, or something like that. Okay, and then we want to see this histogram turn green up there. But we're at the spot. We are officially at the spot. Now, our ideal low was 12.9, and that was 2 days ago. So that's in this window. I thought this might have been the low. We made a brand new low. We're in that window for a low. All right. And so that still could be tomorrow, 3 days out for that minor circle low. And then we should see this Monday, Tuesday start to lift its head off the mat. All right. And then you have the moving averages here. Again, we had trouble getting up above that 100 moving average and the 17 level, and that was key right there for we got that reversal pullback. I just wasn't sure if we made a higher low or a lower low. That was the question there. Now, clearly we made a lower low, and that's a good setup in itself. Okay, looking at quickly MJ first. MJ, same thing we've been looking for. It's starting to move off of this trend line. If you're holding the trend line really well, we should get this pop. It has an inverse correlation with the market, okay, overall. And so with the market getting towards the top, this should start to resume to the upside. Okay, and that's it for MJ. The IBIT, I know I'm rolling through these quick, but each day I've been doing the analysis of these. So if you follow these each and every day, you can catch what's happening here. And I think, we have Bitcoin. This is possibly an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. We might get a rally tomorrow in Bitcoin. I still think this is unfinished business. It doesn't have to, but the 382 hasn't been touched yet. But clearly we're still in this bear flag, and I think this is going to continue to the downside. If we start to break above this level, then I'll be looking for higher retracements or even a back test of the wedge that broke down. All right, let's go to XLF first. All right, it's really cruising up here, and I'm not going to show all of these on the weekly time frame, but you'll get the point. We have these negative divergences forming on the weekly time frame, and we're overbought, and we see the slow stochastic really up there, and I think this is going to start to curl really soon here, but we're still in bearish conditions on the MACD, so that's where I think we'll start to get that tailwind to the downside with the MACD as soon as this curls over. All right. And most everything else, you know, this one you can line up with, there's trend lines up above. And let's see if I can grab some of these. This trend line, I believe, starts from here. You could go way back. Here's a financial crisis. I didn't try this one yet. So there's a point right there. That's probably the most important one, right? Give this, try to get it perfect. I'm not gonna work it in there. So we're at resistance right now. There's a little bit of room if you use that wick to the upside. So we're at historic highs on XLF. And again, it's full of banks, and the banks are saying, yes, you're fixing our liquidity. We are going to make money. But the Qs and the tech market's saying there's something wrong under the hood. Why are they fixing things? Rates are falling. I'm not sure if rates are going to break out to the upside or the downside. But either one, if we keep oscillating back and forth inside, that's kind of bullish for the market because you're stable on treasury rates. But if they break out to the upside, I think that we're going to have this stagflation scenario like the 1970s. I talk about this in past videos as well, the weekly analysis as well. And so on the downside, if rates fall and crush and get smashed underneath its current range, then I think it's a garden variety recession. And by that, a reset, kind of like 2008 or 2007, all right, where rates fall because it's saying there's something wrong underneath the hood of the market. All right, let's go over to JPM. So this is a big portion of the tech market, okay? And if we go back to 2008 here, maybe we have a similar situation. Or, excuse me, we're almost up there. We tagged it. Do we? I can bring that line down, but you get the point. So if you go up just a little bit higher, is it making a lower high? This could be a flat pattern. All right, we made that new high already right here. So it doesn't have to tag up there. This could be a 1, an A, B, C, and where we're at resistance to that point. Do you get what I'm saying? XLF is at resistance. SPY is at resistance. Qs are at resistance. Okay? And so if this is a flat pattern, we should see a continuation to the downside at this point. All right, IWM is full of regional banks and that sort. So this one is a little bit more of a near-term case, and I could probably draw other trend lines, but I was looking at this one in particular. All right, we're looking at this wedge forming, and we're at resistance right here with negative divergence. All right, so we have a wedge there that could break down at any point. Now, my other wedge was here, and that broke out from that point. This one fits perfectly. We'll see if that is it. We're at some sort of resistance. Will this hold? DIA, this has been clear for a long time. This trend line, we've been following this one for quite some time, and that's from 2008. This is all log scaling, by the way, you guys, and we're at that once again. So we spiked through it before. I could lower it just a little bit. Sorry, I missed that. But we're spiked through it before, spiked through it. Are we going to close the week there? My guess is that we might get a little bit of a bounce from tech, but these are going to reverse and we'll get another spike. So we'll have to see how this closes and next week opens, because we could gap down if this has if this closes above the trend line and you get a gap down underneath it. That's just as bad. Okay, so those show all those situations there. DIA again has the big has Goldman Sachs, it has JP Morgan in it and such. And I guess we'll look at is there anything else I want to show there? No. Let's go to SPY in the 65. And since all of those others are potentially at the top, okay, this could be it. We do have negative divergence right here, right now. That could still be your wave too. Do we get a new high here? Fine, that's okay with me. Then we have to change this to corrective. And then we have this as an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever, however you want to count it. But then this last move here, we talked about this being an extension. And so this could be a 1 leading diagonal, 2, this could be an ending diagonal at that, expanding it. No, it's contracting at this point. So then you'd have 3, 4, and one last move up for 5. If we tag a new high, that would just be considered the end wave here. Now our risk to the upside would be a pullback for a 1-2 setup, and you go higher from there. Okay, so I'm not saying that this could be over, but we trade, and so if we're looking definitely for a correction at this point, whether it's just a little bit higher or not. This move is from our indicators is saying that we're done. And I apologize again if you're new here. Right about this time, we always do laundry, and the washing machine is right behind the office here. And so the spin cycle turns on. I don't bother it. I don't really care. But hopefully you guys can hear everything perfectly. And so we're looking for a top. And in the very near term, if the question is, if this is a 1-2 setup where we get a lower high going tomorrow, then we're looking at a wave 3 going in, closing this gap. A possible situation there, where that'd be 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5, and then we get a bounce, and then we go lower for the bearish scenario. This is pushing. I would not be surprised if we tagged a little bit higher. All right, and then we can draw also this. There we go. That's a lot more quiet. This potential channel right there. So you have the lows, and you can make a possible new high here, and that would give us an incremental high, double top. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Let this work itself out. I don't think we're going to hit the options expected move to the upside. So the bad thing about this is my hedges are not looking good to help much. Okay, so we're going to have to work ourselves out for. I'll probably add on to my puts somewhere in this direction. You could say this was the wedge, and it still could be, but this is where the divergence started. All right, so this could be our wedge. We had a stick save today. We're pushing. That could be squeezing shorts, and maybe we make it up a little bit higher than that channel. You know, you have the wedge top up here as well. So we're looking at this wedge at this point. That's your traditional look, and here's your, you don't need to look moving averages. We're already above them. Momentum, everything's up. Here is the near term. We have these negative divergences that we talked about. And then in the very near term, if we make a new high, we're likely to have a near term negative divergence. And so here's what we talked about yesterday. We curled back up, all right? And we're in that situation where we're going higher, curling, going higher, making a higher low, and we keep doing that. But these negative divergences are gonna play out eventually. Okay, so we're oscillating up, and as soon as this quote unquote trend line, we'll use this one right here, starts, you see how we start to coil up there? This is divergence, but this is a sort of a trend line to the upside. And as soon as that breaks, we'll see which direction we go. And I think that's probability is downside. And here we actually have a little bit of movement that's positive. Now it's negative divergence, but that's not confirmed until we get a red histogram there. So although the conditions are there, we need to see this curl back down, and that's not going to happen without price curling back down. Okay. All right. And so here will be the key. In the very short term, this is a 65-minute chart. In the very short term, do we make it just a lower high right here and curl over? That will be our key. And if price makes a new high with this happening again, I don't think there's much room for much more action to go in here. So I think by Monday or Tuesday, we should see some price fall here. And I don't know, it might happen tomorrow. As far as we know, this could be a lower high. But again, right now we have positive movement, even though it's real choppy and it's not, a real big move there. It's because you have forces working against each other. You have that negative divergence. You have the bears fighting the bulls. Okay, you guys, I hope this information helps. We're at resistance on some of those key ETFs and individual names from the banking sector that are really pushing up higher, and that's what's propping the market right now. And I went through all of the mags with the individual stock analysis, and it's so weird, right? You think if Nvidia was positive right now, then the whole market moves rapidly to the upside. It almost doesn't seem fair, but this is how things work. And when the market doesn't want to go down, even though Nvidia is going down, it doesn't have to. But you see what's holding it up by a big shot. We have 1% move plus and 1% move plus here, plus XLF. And all you need these to do is not go down any further while these continue to go up. And I think these are at their limit or very close to it at this point. So the big question is, when these give up, are we going to continue downward in our movement, or do we play the rotation game and these big names start to either hold or lift the market mostly by themselves at that point? Okay. And to me, again, the risk reward to the downside is insane. And we talked about that at the former highs before this, and we'll continue to shout that out. The setup is there, and so we're not gonna let go of our swing positions to the downside. And I'll put this out there. I did add a little Microsoft call for this week just in case this one to go, because it looked like it was in a holding pattern that could break out to the upside with relative strength here. But anyway, neither here nor there. Babbling on now. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join us in the Discord. And we're having a lot of good trades in there. And this has all been choppy, but BYG, thanks again for your excellent trades. Sorry if I don't mention your name. I know Flying Disc has been doing a very good job putting out some trades that other traders could see. I'm sure everybody's doing their own thing, but that they're willing to put out their trades. Rips and Dips, thank you for posting some of your trade ideas and posting when you get out of those trades and stuff like that. Okay, so lots of trade ideas, not just coming from me. It's not all about me. Other people have been right about this holding up and going higher, and I have not. I did not anticipate this entire choppy move. All right, this theta decay. I anticipated this move all the way up to here and to here. Okay, all right, let's see what happens going into next week, and we'll see what kind of doji we have. Again, we haven't moved from this is the closing price of SPY. And I doubt we'll get far away from this. Even if we move up higher here this week, my guess is that we'll end up back here by tomorrow, and we'll have some around this area. We'll have some sort of weekly doji. All right, thanks for joining us here at OptionsTender. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.